So what is going on, guys? This is Ryan here.
And this is the Ryan here.
Hey everyone, Razbowski here. What's going on, guys? Dorko here.
And welcome back, guys, to once again another episode of Theory Thursday. So we've done a lot of speculation over the past couple of weeks, talking about what might be in the game, and also we've kind of neglected the fact that there's a lot of myths and theories going around, which, whilst they sound very true, they may need a little bit of debunking, and so we did this with FNAF 4, we're going to do it with the sister location too. This episode is going to be dedicated to debunking, because there's not a whole lot more left to discuss until Scott teases more information, so let's get straight into this.
So the first subject we're going to be talking about today is Funtime Foxy. Now, a lot of people have been suggesting that if you have a look at the reflection on Funtime Foxy's face, you can actually see the puppet, the marionette. Yeah. Could this beautiful character, which holds so much significance to the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's, could this character be making a return to the sister location?
It's an interesting one, and I mean, you've got to think about a similar debate which happened with the baby teaser as well on Scott Games, because a lot of people said they saw Springtrap in the face, so I guess this could kind of cover both points. Now, the problem with humans, and this is an actual thing that scientists have discovered as well, if out of the corner of your eye you see something move which is a bit unusual, you will automatically try and associate that, for example, with a face or something familiar. And I think, because obviously we've got all these distorted kind of like shapes, and of course the reflection's distorted as well, we're trying to make sense of what might possibly be reflected in the model itself. And so I think it's people looking for that, and when they see the association with the different colors, they kind of think, yeah, it must be something like that, because Scott, we know, is a sneaky man, and he might be trying to do that. But you know, it's a bit of a difficult one, because a lot of people said as well they saw the puppet in FNAF 4, and it turns out we didn't actually see much of him in the actual night system.
Yeah, I agree. I think, you know, Scott, he's created a community in which everyone looks for the small details, and I think that's gone a little bit too far nowadays, because everyone's looking for something in the weirdest of places, I'll say. Like, for example, if Scott wants to show us something that may be hidden in the shadows, he'll do it in such a way where it's not actually impossible to see it, if you know what I mean. For example, this whole puppet, it just looks like it's just distortedness, and anyone who makes it out to be the puppet is just, I know they want to believe that it's the puppet. It's like
absolutely, and
that's what I mean with the whole, like I said, with Scott making up the lore and an amazing story with so much mystery. It's turned us all into detectives, but I think that we've gone a bit too far with the detective work, in honesty.
Yes. As you were saying, Scott's teasers, if he does hide something in it, like in the darkness or whatever, that we brighten the image up, then it is quite clear to see something's there. We actually saw that for the puppet's official reveal. It was a very, very dark image. We brightened that bad boy up, and Prize Corner was there with this brand new character. Again, we're associating what we perceive to be something, and we want to see these new characters. We're looking for every single little detail, and I think it comes back to the fact that Scott's been very, very quiet recently, or at least as of time of recording of this video, Scott has been quiet for about a month now, and with it's the little red dot that we see in the cheek, or what we perceive to be a red dot, which is kind of like what we see on the puppet. So immediately people go, "Oh, there! That is the puppet right there." I can see how people do think that, but I think it's a bit of a stretch. I think we've pretty much found all of the secrets in there. I don't think Scotty Boy is going to add in as much as we're looking. I love it. I absolutely love it, because it gives us points to discuss. And Scott's probably sitting at home thinking, guys, I didn't do any of this, but nice.
You can't, like Ryan said, we turned into detectives. You can't blame us, really. In the past, what Scott's done in the past with his teasers, you can't really blame us. Because in some of the other trailers as well, he does do little hints to things as well. Do you remember the FNAF 2 trailer, for example, where we saw a tiny bit of BB, but he didn't show all of it? And everyone was speculating that. But I don't think it's the puppet. I think it's too weird. Why would you see a reflection of the puppet's face stretched out on the arm, like on the face? It just doesn't make any sense why the puppet would be there, and why it would be like on the reflection of the arm on the face like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think Scott wouldn't really want to pull away from the fact he's introducing possibly the most important new animatronics to the newest game. Like, he wouldn't want to make these small things, because at the end of the day, I think the new characters are the kind of the meat and potatoes, I guess you could say. It's what you want to see from this image. It's the most striking point. He doesn't want to do these little things. I think once we're kind of associated with these characters a bit more, then we may see some kind of Easter egg in some form or fashion. Yeah, I think he probably wants our attention to be fixated on the new characters, analyze those guys before going back to the old older games because, you know, he would have called this FNAF 5, I think, rather than Sister Location.
Yes.
There's a bit of branching out.
It's a sister location, so I wouldn't even want Scott to bring back old characters. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, we are getting like Freddy and Foxy in there, so they're going to be significant in some ways. But yeah, I know what you mean. They're not going to bring back Springtrap or the Puppet or Balloon Boy, even though there are Balloon Boy-esque characters in there. The new versions,
exactly, different
new
variations of the characters.
So it's not going to be the Puppet. If the Puppet was to appear in the game, then it might be a different version of it, maybe a Funtime version or some new kind of puppet that we're going to travel in space with, that kind of thing. One point I'd like to make is maybe there is potentially something there, because there is something there. It could just be the reflection of Baby, because if you have a look on stage, Foxy is to the left of Baby, and the reflection, the way it is, because he's slightly higher up than her. I'm not great with angles and stuff, but it could be Baby, but I mean, she would have to literally be facing him for that reflection to work, and she's actually situated in front of him. That might not work, but that's another thing in there, just in case people are saying, what ones if it's Baby instead? When we're getting the showcase of the animatronics, I think they're literally on their own in this part. So when we do see Baby, the ballerina, and Funtime Freddy and Foxy as well, they're on their own there. Just a quick question for interest's sake: what significance to the story do you think the puppet would have potentially if he was to be in the game? Because as we all know, the puppet was the one that give life to the children with the gifts mini game. So he's obviously very, very important. But how could he tie in with the sister location? Because these animatronics are obviously haunted, or the souls are trapped in them in some way, shape, or form. So how can the puppet tie into these guys? Because apparently that's how these animatronics were given life. So how are the sister animatronics given life?
Well, I guess you could see it one way. I'll just throw this point in there before. So we see Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy being given life in the FNAF 2 minigames, of course, and we see the sister location characters in this warehouse, meaning they could have possibly existed before FNAF 2, and we don't know about the puppet pre-FNAF 2 a whole lot, so it might potentially tie in there. Maybe in a minigame. Who knows, man? I think we've got a lot to discover, though, with that. But he could potentially tie in that way, but any other way... I don't know. I can't really see any other ways.
It's hard to know, but we do definitely know that the puppet's got big influence, because I remember the FNAF 2 cutscenes with the puppet in from the FNAF 1 location. So how's he got there? How's the puppet got to the FNAF 1 location? So
the godfather of all the animatronics. Almost.
Yeah, exactly.
We need to see how Baby and Ballora and that have got their life. Like, if he's sticking to the lore of the whole games that we've already seen and know and love, then he's got to somehow clear that up, which is going to be very interesting to see. I think that's another reason why people are saying, we think the marionette or the puppet or whatever you want to call him is potentially in Funtime Foxy's face, but it was just an interesting thing to bring up. Let us know in the comment section below what you guys think, how these animatronics might be given life. I think that's a very good point, and one of the most important ones for these the brand new game, I think.
Yeah, probably something we can theorize about as well for a future Theory Thursday if Scott doesn't update the website anytime soon, so there you go. So the second and final point about this video, guys, is that a lot of people are saying that if you reverse the Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location teaser trailer, you can hear what seems to sound like Suicide Didn't Work. On the surface, when you think about that, it might make sense, because these guys say things like, don't hold it against us, you don't know what we've been through, so they're clearly not in the best of mindsets. They're not very positive. There's a lot of negativity surrounding these guys, so why people would hear Suicide Didn't Work, I guess, would make sense. But at the same time, it seems a little bit too secretive. We had this discussion as well with the FNAF 2 trailer, and like a song in the background, but it still seems a bit kind of much. I think when you go this far with a Scott trailer, I think this one you're analysing maybe a tad too much. But guys, what do you think on this as well?
To be fair, I think it's going back to the whole detective thing again. I think I'm not sure why people think like it. Obviously, you just said in FNAF 2 it says Mike kill all, and like people were thinking the guy's called Mike. In order to do that, Scott has got to be first of all, he's got to master the English language backwards and forwards. He's got to know what to say to sound like it backwards. I don't know. It's just I feel like we're looking too deeply into this, like we've said before. If Scott wanted to do something, he would purposely have the animatronic say something backwards.
Yes.
Then so that we could then play it back and then it will be forwards. But I don't think he would, put something in English forwards to then be reversed. That's also sounds like a satanic flipping Beatles song or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, no, it goes back to Five Nights at Freddy's 4, how you had the jarbled or the mixed up phone call. Remember, there was what everybody thought was Mangle's static noise, but it turned out to be the FNAF 1 phone call. It was in the nights, which is a prime example of what you were suggesting there, that Scott, as an Easter egg, popped that in, and then we reversed it and we found out it was the original phone call. It's just looking into it a little bit too much. I love the idea of him somehow choosing words that would sound like something else going backwards, but it doesn't. I've listened to it myself quite a lot. I can understand why people are trying to fit it together like that, but it would be easier to listen to. It's too garbled and mixed up. We would have played a clip at the start of this so you guys can hear it for yourself in case you haven't. But let us know what your thoughts of it down in the comment section below are. But I think we're stretching a little bit too far. Plus the suicide didn't work aspect of it just doesn't quite make sense. These animatronics presumably know they're already dead. If they're trapped souls or whatever, they already know that they're there, and dead things can't die again, if you know what I mean.
Again, I think I always talk about a Vsauce video, but Vsauce did a video about words being played backwards, and he did a really good one about a criminal being interviewed before he killed someone. And it said, and the way when he what he said was played backwards, it said like the name or something of the man who he killed and stuff. It's just a coincidence. It's just a massive coincidence. I think people are believing it more because this FNAF trailer the music was made by someone to make it
for him specifically.
And the voice acting has been specifically told to say. But it's just a coincidence. Like that backwards could have said like chicken tikka masala or something, and it's just something it's just something that you hear because, like Ryan said, we investigate, we just think things in our brains that could fit with what it's saying. And to me, honestly, when I heard it, I still don't think it sounds that similar to what people are saying it sounds like.
I think going off your point, like I think Vsauce did another video, but like obviously not talking about Vsauce, not promoting the guy or anything, but basically we as humans are morbidly curious, and if something in our mind feels like it's not solved, we will try and find something that will satisfy us in a way where we can say, okay, that makes sense now. So that's why we do it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you got to think about the whole invention of something kind of termed backmasking in like the media business, where a lot of people will like play these really popular songs. They'll almost say like the Illuminati somehow manifested within. And it's like the problem is when they give you this song and they say, okay, listen to this backwards, they give you the words that they think they hear already, so you're reading them and making sense. But if they just gave you that in reverse and said, what does that say? There's no way you're going to get the exact same. If you gave that to 1,000 people, not everyone would get it right. I mean, you might struggle to get the same one out of 1,000, but I think what it's a case of is once the kind of seed is planted, it will grow. And it's with a mystery, especially with FNAF, because that's all literally the definition of mystery in the gaming industry at the moment. It's definitely very apparent when it comes to that.
Yeah, it's very interesting that people come to these conclusions. I love the creativity of the community and the as we were saying, the whole detective work in a whole is absolutely fantastic. But the strange thing is that this has only recently come out. I think it was last week, where it was like 3 weeks ago. And everybody right now people have been probably reversing it for ages. I remember as soon as we did our top 10 things you missed or our first Theory Thursday, people were saying reverse it. If that was the case, this would have come out weeks ago. If it was something every single person could hear, and it was an obvious thing, then it would come out quickly. Again, with FNAF 4, going back to that phone call was reversed real quick, like within the second day. Yeah. So it would have become news more. Definitely. It would have come quicker, if you know what I'm saying. But it's cool. I like it.
So there we go, guys. That was another discussion and another episode, of course, of Theory Thursday. Hopefully you did enjoy this one as well, guys. We had the awesome gang, the Quad Squad, if you like, again. And, guys, hopefully you'll look forward to next week as well.
If you guys did enjoy this video, why not leave a like rating down below? And if you're new to any of our channels, why not subscribe for more Theory Thursday and indie games?
So thank you so much for watching this video, guys. We, of course, hope you did enjoy. And we will, of course, see you on the next one on all of our channels.
Goodbye,
guys.
Bye.
Want to see even more content from us?
Consider liking and subscribing to ensure you'll see all content in the foreseeable future.
And hey, why not check out our past 2 videos?